What up, everybody? Jeremiah here for video blog number 10. This is my 6-week post-operation update from L4L5 L5S1 artificial disc replacement with an LPESP disc by Dr. Byron Desai here in Cologne, Germany. The last 2 weeks have been extremely difficult for me, actually. And I told you guys that I would be completely honest in terms of which way this thing went for me, all of the ups and downs. And the last 2 weeks have been, without a doubt, a big fat down for me. It's been a massive struggle. Just before my 1 month update, and I even mentioned it in the last video blog, is I started to get a burning pain in my right foot, and that within that day or two, that burning pain got much worse, and it spread into my toes, second, third, and fourth toes. And it was kind of in the middle part of the inside of my right foot and on the top inside part of my right foot. And to be honest, I started to kind of freak out. I, of course, started to look online at what it could be, looking at symptoms. Of course, all of you guys on Facebook groups and forums, I was asking you guys what you guys thought it might be. I even felt confident on what I thought it might be. And it still could be that, but I'm now leaning towards it not being what I thought it was. And I'll maybe kind of get into that now. When I started to look online, I started to see symptoms of neuropathy. So basically damage to the nerves and problems with the nerves, and the type of pains that gives out is like burning type pains, burning, numbness, tingling, pins and needles. And mostly what I was getting was burning and pins and needles. So I was getting a lot of that, and it was some of the most extreme pain that I have ever felt in my entire life. And I'll admit, I was definitely questioning my decision for ADR these last couple of weeks. So I was able to contact my doctor here in Germany, Dr. Desai, and definitely didn't want to take a trip back up to Cologne this early in the game. I wanted to maybe wait till my 6-month mark before I took a trip up here to see him and maybe even celebrate a little bit at that time. But with as much pain as I was going through, I knew I needed to come up and see him. And so he actually set me up with a neurologist here, and I had some tests done, had an EMG test done, the electrical test of your nerves, which tests the large fibrous nerves actually to see if there's any damage going on there. Tests came back negative for neuropathy. So, and then based on all of the muscle movement tests and just, him, checking my muscle strength and stuff like that, things were negative for neuropathy, which was a good thing. That's what I want. But neuropathy also can be something that's often misdiagnosed because those tests only test large fibrous nerves and not the small fibrous nerves. Small fibrous nerves are tested through basically a skin biopsy. So they take a piece of your skin and take it into the lab, test it, and it'll come back, negative or positive. I haven't done that, and I don't think I'm going to. I may, but I don't think I'm going to, because I think I have figured out the problem. Today I am feeling much better, and it's just coincidental that I'm feeling better today and have been miserable the last 2 weeks. So this neurologist in Cologne prescribed me a drug called flurpentine, It's a drug that is not FDA approved in the United States. I'm not sure exactly why. I think it's because it can be harsh on your liver, but aren't all drugs harsh on your liver? So I don't know. It's a muscle relaxer. And the doctor told me to take it at night before I went to bed, along with all my other drugs. So tramadol and gabapentin. So I'm taking quite a cocktail these days. And so I took the drug and started to feel better actually, and slept through the night, and the morning felt a lot better. And actually ended up feeling pretty decent throughout the entire day, and actually went back to my second appointment with this neurologist, and he we just kind of got talking about, well, what could it be? And I explained some more symptoms, and something that I noticed about myself since the very beginning is that when I'm walking, that's when I'm like at my best. Like I don't feel hardly any pain when I walk. A little bit in my foot when I was really having issues with the burning foot, when it would kind of rub, in the shoe just a little bit, it would bother me. But still, walking was when I was kind of at my best in terms of not feeling pain. So, but you can't walk forever. So it's not like I could just walk, and walk. So there's some times where you actually have to stop, sit down, eat, lay down to go to bed, So, so I told him I feel best when I'm walking, and I feel actually like things kind of start to lock up when I lie down. So when I'm going down to bed. So what I think was happening is I was lying down in bed, and I think I would start to kind of lock up, and I think my muscles are just choking out my nerves all night. So you fall asleep and your nerves are being choked out all night long. And so when he gave me this muscle relaxer for the night, I think it relaxed the muscles and it eased off on the nerves, and it made me actually feel better the next day. And so I'm actually here at an Airbnb in Cologne, and in the room I'm in here, I found just a little while ago, I didn't even notice it when I first got here, I noticed there was a foam roller. So, and I'm familiar with a foam roller. I'm sure a lot of you with back pain are familiar with foam rollers. So I decided just kind of maybe just start working things out and see what the deal is. Well, I started to kind of rub or roll the foam roller just underneath my butt, where my butt and my leg connect, and I kind of put my foot on the bed, so I was kind of had my foot at an angle while I was rubbing my the bottom of my butt, and it was extremely tight in that little pocket, in that little area. And I think that might have been the area where things were just squeezing everything. Because as soon as I got done working it on the foam roller, I actually started to feel better. It was like night and day. It was like, wow, this is strange. Like, where has this been in the last 2 weeks? So I'm really feeling some relief right now. And it is actually later in the day. So that drug therpentine, I didn't take, the last time I took it was last night. So we're going on, I think it's like 6 o'clock right now, 6 p.m. So I'll be heading to bed here in, about 3-4 hours from now. And I'm probably going to take it again. So, I mean, if I got to take this cocktail of drugs to help me kind of get to the finish line on this, then I guess that's what I have to do. I was really not wanting to take too many drugs through this recovery process, but it looks like I'm going to have to. I also got a CT scan, so I got my discs looked at, and they look like they're in perfect position still. Like in terms of the procedure and the placement of my discs, they haven't moved. They're right in where they're supposed to be. It looks like they're none of the nerves are being impinged in my back. So, and that's where I got thinking, like, if my nerves aren't impinged on my back, in my back, and I don't have a neuropathy or even neuralgia or some other kind of, nerve damage problem going on, then what could be going on? And it basically just means that I guess my nerve is being, pinched somewhere in my muscles, somewhere from contraction of the muscles. So, I think that's the problem. I am feeling a lot better right now, and I have to admit this was a big scare for me, because I was starting to imagine myself having to kind of live with excruciating pain the rest of my life, and of course, our whole goal of ADR and surgery is to get ourselves to a level of just being able to enjoy life with our family and friends and the people we love, and just to be thankful for those kinds of things. And I am. But it's just, to do that kind of stuff and to be around people with pain is just, it's just really, really stinking difficult. And so, I thank God. Again, I feel like I have there's like a victory today. And I think within these trials, I think we have to use these trials and these hardships to help us to know and understand and realize what's important in life. And, I think every time I climb out of one of these difficult circumstances, I become even that much more thankful. And so in this instance, I praise God. And I thank God for the times that I struggle, even though it sucks to struggle. I can look back and say, okay, I got through that. Thank you, God. So anyhow, this is what's been going on the last couple weeks. This has been my battle. I feel like I'm conquering it. Even though it's been a struggle the last couple weeks, I feel like I'm going to win this race. I just got to keep going, keep fighting. And, anybody who's thinking about getting ADR or spinal fusion surgery, any kind of spine surgery, know that are going to be trials. I mean, it could be that you are the one that has no issues. But from almost most of the people I talk to, probably in the 90s percentage-wise, have some kind of issue, especially in these first few months to a year to 2 years. So this has been tough, but I think, my lessons are being learned. And if you guys have any questions about anything, and I know some of you guys contact me via Facebook and YouTube and email, by all means, contact me, ask me questions. I'll do the best I can to get back to you guys. And just continue to carry on, continue to fight the fight, and eventually I think we'll cross the finish line. So, all right, that's video blog number 10, guys. Bye.